Okay, so this is going to be the second video in the Flutter series, and we're just going to be going over the AppBar and Draw in Flutter. Just bear with me if if my mouse disappears onto my other screen. It's just because I've got a bit of reference code on the right hand side, but hopefully we won't need it. So first thing that we're going to do is make a new file inside of our library, and we're going to call it theme.dart. And we're just going to make a really simple theme, just in case people don't know how to get to where I currently am. There's a video I made, I don't know, like a week ago, and it's just how to get set up with Flutter, pretty much. So if you need to do that, I'll link the video in the description. I'm not going to do a card because they annoy me, but yeah, you can reference that and download it, set it up, and then you can jump to this video again. But first thing we're going to do in theme.dart, we're going to import the Flutter material Dart, and we're just going to make a simple theme, which is going to be literally just a primary and accent color for our application, but it doesn't really matter. It's just going to be for the automatic highlighting of icons and stuff like that, but makes the app seem a lot cleaner when you use it. So we're going to call theme data and use a light theme to begin with, which it automatically gives us the option for. And we're going to return base and copy. Sorry, base dot copy with. Yeah, base dot copy with. And we're going to have our primary color of. We're going to be using hexadecimal colors just because they're better. And if you disagree, you're wrong, but they're easy enough. Pretty much, I'm not too sure exactly how Flutter does it, but to begin with, you need the 0xFF, and then you do your color. So we want our primary color to be white, so that's just 6Fs, I think. And yeah, so you can see Flutter's given us the white on the left-hand side, so it shows us the color that we're given on that line. And then we want our accent color, which I'm going to use a greenish color. I don't know what the actual color is called, but obviously you can pick whatever color you want, and I don't know it off the top of my head, so I'm going to copy it, but you'll be able to see what it looks like. No, we don't want that color. 1 second. If I can find it, there it is. We don't want that color, we want this color. That's the one. Lovely. And that's pretty much all we're going to be doing in our theme. And we need the semicolon here to finish that off. And what's not liking about this? Quick fix. No semicolon. Easy enough. So that's pretty much the first step. Really simple. And then for our second step, we're going to clean up the default main page. And since we already have our theme, we can remove this, I'm pretty sure. And we will import our theme.dart as theme. So what this is doing, we're importing our theme file, and we're going to reference it as theme just because it's easier and it looks cleaner. What do we do next? Yeah, we don't need any of these comments. And actually, before I go too much further, I'll run the app on our virtual device just to see what we're looking at. And while that's happening, I may as well clean up a bit more. What's not liking? It's failed. Main.dart 90. Because we don't have theme. That's fine. One second, I'll clear the rest of this up then. We need build context and we need scaffold, but I don't think we need any of this. So I'll remove we can just remove widget, we'll remove that, hopefully, and we can remove this too, that's not needed, and we can remove all these comments, again they're not really needed. This isn't needed anymore either. We can remove that. And there's more useless stuff. Okay, so hopefully we can run now. It shouldn't throw any errors, and it should just open a bit of a simpler landing screen or main screen, whatever you want to call it. While that's happening, we're going to set our theme to the one that we've just made. So theme is going to be our theme.light theme, and if you're wondering why we're doing that, it's because we've made our theme.light theme to this. So you could make a dark theme if you want, and that would just, I think you make your primary color a dark color, but obviously you wouldn't want to do that with a dark green as your color. But anyway, so this is our base page, which, fairly simple, and we're going to add the AppBar and drawer, which is like the drawer is like the menu to this. So just trying to think if we need to remove anything else. We could just change this to YouTube Flutter demo. Oh, no. YouTube Flutter demo. And we want to, so it's already got an AppBar here, but we're going to remove that for now, comment it out, and we've got our body, which is fine. Where's the body end? There, and we'll add a drawer as well, but obviously we don't have the drawer AppBar yet, so I'll show you what removing the AppBar did. So if we hit R to refresh our screen, there's no AppBar anymore. So actually I'll Control Z that. Pretty much, if we save this, refresh, it should bring up our AppBar, but I think it's because we've got the new theme, but don't worry about that. We'll go forward to where we were, refresh our page just to make sure we've got the most up-to-date version, and we're good. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is add a new folder called assets, and inside assets we're going to want to add a new folder called images, because we're going to want to add our image for our logo, and I've already downloaded one in advance. It's just an example logo, so I can drag it in here, and hopefully, yeah, so it's in assets, images. So if we go to assets, new folder, eventually we'll have videos as well. I'll just do that, but we're not going to add videos now, but example logo, we'll rename this to just logo.png, hit enter, and now we're going to need to import that through our pubspec YAML file, and Flutter's pretty good because it shows us what we need to do, but I'll just give you the demo. So we pretty much need to add the assets to our application. So to do that, we're just going to be going, I think it's hyphen and assets dash images dash logo dot png to reference our image, and we'll hit save, and that's going to get that running. Block mapping, please. It's not liking it, so I'll just completely copy this, paste it, hopefully likes makes it a bit more. That's fine. So if we go to terminal, refresh, parsing, block mapping. Not sure why it's not liking it. Bear with me just 2 seconds. Oh, we haven't done that. Now it's going to work. So we just needed to uncomment the asset. So we can remove that now. Those comments are useless. And it's happy with that now, thankfully. Okay. So secondly, we're going to go back into our library and we're going to make a new folder and call it scaffold. And inside scaffold, we're going to add 2 new files. First one's going to be our mobile AppBar dart, and our second one's going to be mobile dart. Okay, so we'll start with our AppBar. I don't think we need to import anything, but I might just import the standard Flutter material.dart. Enter. Okay, so first we're going to need to make the, is it blockxc? Blockxc. So we're going to make the class for the mobile AppBar. And obviously you can call this whatever you want, but I'm just going to be calling it a mobile AppBar because it makes sense. And it's going to extend a stateful widget because it's just going to be a custom widget that implements preferred size widget, because this is going to allow us to change the height of it, I'm pretty sure. And we're going to set mobile AppBar, and we're going to do set the key to key. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure why we have to do this, but it kind of just works. So we'll leave it as is, and we're going to say preferred size is equal to size dot from height, and we'll just set the height to 80 for now. Actually, I'll do 100 just because it's a bit cleaner. 100, and we're going to do super and reference the key again, and then this, and what's it not liking? Preferred size in the field. That will get fixed later on, that's fine. And then we're going to override our final size preferred size. Let's fix that, and then we're going to add another override, and that's going to be for our mobile AppBar state, and we're going to create the state. Arrow for mobile AppBar state, and that's because we're going to create another class called mobile AppBar state, and this is going to extend the state for the mobile AppBar, which is what the class we just made before. State, quick fix, create the automatic missing override, which just pretty much tells us what we need to do, but that's good. So inside of our build, we want to make we want to return, an AppBar, which is a widget in Flutter, and we're going to make the toolbar height 120, and we're going to want to center the title, which is going to be our logo. So center the title, Boolean value is true. And the title, which we've just said that we're going to center, is going to be an inkwell, which will allow us to click it and redirect. And we're going to have an onTap method, but we're not going to implement it just yet. So we'll set it to null. So it's going to be there, but we can edit that later. And we're going to have a child inside of this AppBar, and it's just going to be a simple container widget. And there's going to be a child again inside of the container, and that's going to be an image. And then the image we're going to set to an asset image. And that asset image is going to be the image that we've added to our pubspec.yaml, which is our logo. So we can pretty much just copy this from our pubspec.yaml, paste it inside, and actually, I don't think this is going to look a bit better. Do that. Lovely. And we're going to set the fit for this to a box fit, and it's going to be contained. And the height we'll set to 100 since we have the toolbar height of 120, which is good. And I'm pretty sure that's not it. We just need to add a comma here. Is it a comma or a semicolon? And we'll add a comma here, and it's Alt-Shift-F to format, by the way. So Alt-Shift-F is going to be a friend of yours while doing all this. Okay, so we've added our inkwell, and now we're going to add our a button to the AppBar, which is, you can do anything with the button, but you know, it's useful to have, so I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to make an array of widgets, and we're going to have the first thing inside here is going to be padding, and we're going to want to pad the edges. So padding, I think it's edge insets, and it's going to be from left, top, right, bottom. We're going to go 0, 20, 15, and 20. So 0 from the left, 15 from the right, 20 from the top, 20 from the bottom. Which you'll see why later. But from here we're going to go child. We're going to have a sized box. And that size box is going to have a width of 75, and it's going to have another child, which is going to be a flat button. And we'll remove all of this for now. Okay, flat button. Okay, so we're going to set the text color for this to our white that we had in the theme, which is our primary color. Come up on the left, which it does, and we're going to have a regular color, so the color is just going to be the color of the button, and we'll set that to our accent color to keep it consistent. Remove that second comma, and we're going to have an on pressed, and that's going to be the same as our inkwell from before, and we're just going to make it empty for now, and that can always get changed. And the child for this button is going to be text, and the text is going to be button, I guess. You can call it whatever you want. And we're going to have style for this text, and it's going to be a new text style. We're going to have the font size be 16, And the font weight we're gonna make to bold, which I think we need to font weight dot and maybe bold. And then I think if we just add our commas, if you add commas, it just formats it better. And Alt Shift F to format. Save that, and we'll need to add icon theme to this just for our draw, which we'll add later on, but we'll may as well add it now. It's going to be a new icon theme data, I believe, and just going to set the color to our secondary color, and that's pretty much it, I'm pretty sure. So if we hit refresh, it shouldn't throw us any issues. And inside our main.dart, we're going to import, I think it's going to be scaffold mobile AppBar.dart, and then we're going to go back to our main, where our AppBar is, uncomment that, which is control slash comments and uncomments, if I click it properly, and we're going to name this mobile AppBar. So we hit save and refresh. Hopefully it's there. So that's good. Button's not quite the right size, so we go to AppBar.dart, and inside our flat button width we'll just make to, I don't know, 80, see if that works. Refresh, and it does, so that's good. So we can see our logos there and our buttons here, and if we wanted to make the logo bigger, so this pretty much is going to make sure it stays to the right ratios, and we can increase this and the width length. It will scale the width appropriately pretty much. So we can do that if we wanted, but I'll just go back to 100. And now we have our, we'll hit refresh. So now we have our AppBar, and the reason that I've left it like this is because our drawer is going to implement the hamburger icon to the left side anyway. So we'll get started on that as well. And we're going to need to copy a fair bit of what we've already done. So I'll just completely copy this, paste it in here, but we're going to call it mobile app draw. Actually, I can show you another trick. So if we highlight mobile app draw, or mobile app bar, sorry, and hit Control D, it's going to highlight all of the instances of this in the file, and we can literally just hit left, backspace, and just type what we want. So draw, hit save, and then that just speeds up your process a fair bit. It's going to extend. Oh, that's wrong. Well, at least you got the tip anyway. So we'll make a new class because this is going to be a stateless widget. It's not going to be stateful. So we're going to go mobile app draw, and it's going to extend a stateless widget. And we're going to, if you hover over this, it will tell you what you need to do. So quick fix, add one of the missing overrides. And again, it's pretty much what we had before. So we're going to want to return a draw here. And we're going to have a child of a list view that pops up. Lovely. Okay, and then it's going to have the list view is going to have multiple children. So it's going to be an array, and we're going to have an array of widgets. And before I forget, semicolon here, and we'll hit enter. Cool. And our first thing inside here is going to be a container, and we'll just give it a height of 155. I'll do 150. And that's going to have a child of another inkwell. Inside that inkwell, we're going to have our on tap specified to null for the time being. Obviously that can be changed later on. And we're going to have a child inside here, which is going to be a draw header. Yeah, there it is. Draw header. Which is what we want. And this is going to have some decoration, and it's going to be box decoration. What's it not liking from this? It doesn't have a child, I don't think, but that's going to be fine. Actually, yeah, we'll add box decoration, and this is the only way that I could find how to make all of the top of it a color, which I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but it also leaves you the option to change the gradient and make it a different color, but we'll leave it as is for now, just because it's a good example. We're making a linear gradient, and we're going to have multiple colors since it's a gradient. Color, and that's going to have to be an array. Okay, so you can have as many colors as you want, I think. But again, for us, we're just going to make it our accent color. So again, just going to copy this and I don't need that big. There we go. Is that right? I think that's right. Too many brackets there, and then we should see the colors on the left hand side. There we go. Lovely. And we're going to leave that like that, come down, and we're going to have an image. It's going to be a decoration image, and inside that image we're going to have another image, and it's going to be an asset image, which allows us to decorate an asset image. Add the things there, and again for our asset image we're going to have our logo. So if we go back to our mobile app bar, we can copy the location, and actually I'll just paste that in, save that, and I think this has to be inside the decoration image. I'm just going to scale it. Actually, we'll see how it looks. We might add a scale. We'll quickly add this to our main so we can see how it looks. So draw is going to be, we're going to have to import it first. So we'll hit import, scaffold, mobile app draw, and then we can do uncomment this and mobile app draw. Refresh. Here you can see it's added our button, and that's what ours looks like now. So you can scale the image if you want, which is what I was going to show. You could scale to 2. I don't like how it does that, but we'll leave it as is. Refresh, and sometimes a bit weird, the scaling option. What if I do 0.5? Okay, so maybe you can't scale. Well, we don't need the scale anyway, but I think you can scale the image so it fits a bit better if needed. But we'll leave that as is because we don't need it. Okay, and then we're going to have another child after the box decoration, and it's going to be a child to align everything. So we'll do an alignment child, I think, and then, sorry, I did the wrong brackets. Let's sign us what we need, but we're going to add that anyway. So we're going to have alignment. We're going to align that stuff to the top left. So we're going to be adding our close drawer button here. So it's going to be another child inside the alignment child, and it's going to be an icon button. And our icon is going to be an icon, and it's going to be icons dot close. Yeah. I'll hit enter here. And then on pressed, we're going to actually, yeah, 1 second. There we go, makes it a bit cleaner. So on pressed, we're going to add our first function, and that's literally going to be to close the drawer. And to do that, it's just navigator dot pop, and we're going to pop the context. Okay, and we're going to change a few other things. So the color for this icon is going to be white. So we're going to do color and 0xFF12345 for white. There we go. And we're going to set our icon size to 30. And you can also add tooltips. So tooltip, we'll just say close drawer. Save. That should be good. And I'll actually add a comma here so it formats things, hopefully. Save. Why is it not liking that? An extra bracket here. It has to be no, we just don't need that. Okay, there we go. So now we can format it. Don't know where that extra bracket came from. And okay, so now we've got the container done, and I'll show you what that looks like. We refresh it, pretty much adds the X button here, and we can click that to close the drawer. So it's just something simple, quality of life, because normally you can click off it and it closes, but you should really have the option to close it there. And now we're going to be adding tiles to our menu. So we'll need to make a custom menu list tile, which is going to be a new class at the bottom here. We'll call it custom menu list tile, and it's going to extend a stateless widget. Stateless widget, and this is going to take 3 arguments. So it's going to be string, and it's going to be called text, I guess, a function, and we'll call that on tap, and a boolean of whether it's indented or not. So we'll just call it indented. Lovely. And then it's going to have a custom menu list tile, and we're going to set this dot text, this dot untap, and this dot indented. And it's going to say we need to add an override. Quick fix, create one missing override. To renew, and we'll close this. And so this is where we're going to build our custom widget. Okay, so we're going to return padding. Now, semicolon, because I always forget to do that. I think it's a semicolon. Is a semicolon. Why is it chucking a... Okay, it wasn't. It it's just me. Okay, so we're going to return padding, and we're going to set padding constant edge inset, similar to before. I'm going to use left, top, right, bottom, and it's going to be 15, 0, 15, 0. And we're going to do another inkwell child, so I'm just going to move the wallet. Inkwell child and inkwell. And inside this we're going to have our on tap, and that's going to be on tap, so that's going to be getting it from here. And then we're going to have our child as a container, and the container is going to have a height of 50, which you can obviously change, and inside the container we're going to have a row, and we're going to set our main axis alignment, and we're going to set that to space between, so it spaces everything evenly. We're going to have children in here. Children are going to be widgets, so we'll set it to widget like we did earlier. And we're going to have text. At the comma. And the text is going to be the text that we had. So again, we've used our on tap here, we've used our text here. And we're going to pretty much copy this twice, and I'll show you why, but we'll just make a quick style for this. It's going to be text style, and we're just going to set our font size 16. Okay, so that's pretty much our first thing. So what we've done here, so we've got indented. So we're going to set an if-else statement. So we can pretty much copy all of this, and we can add this to the top. So we'll do if indented is equal to false. So if it isn't going to be an indented tile, we'll return this. Else, cut that, add it to the bottom, this. And then for the ones that are indented, we're just going to want a bit more space on the left side, so we'll set it to 30. And that's most of it. What's the quick fix here? Okay, so actually I think there's a better way of getting rid of that. I think we can just add final maybe. Final, yeah, that's just a cleaner way of getting rid of that warning, but again I don't think that would have done anything too bad. Okay, so where was I? I've kind of forgotten where I was. What we're going to do, we're going to add these menu tiles to our drawer. Okay, so pretty much after we've done that, we can just add our custom menu tiles, and it's going to ask us for three things. It's going to ask for us for our text, it's going to ask us for the function, and it's going to ask us whether it's indented or not. So what can we do? So our first one's just going to be tile 1. Our on taps will leave empty for now. Why has that done that? We don't need that. This and indented will set to false, and we'll do pretty much copy this. We can do 2 tiles, so if I hit refresh, error found. HTML. Just get rid of that. Hit refresh. There we go. And here you can see we've got our 2 tiles, and we click them, nothing really happens, but if you had the functions there to do something, those functions would get executed. So that's good. Now what can we do? Okay, so for our indented ones, we'll be using an existing widget, which is expansion tile. Lovely. And I'll set the title. Okay, so the title for the expansion tile is going to be text. And we'll just name this expansion tile. That's fine. And we'll set some style for this, just some oh no, it's gonna style inside the text, sorry. Okay, so style for the text, and it's gonna be text style. I know it's a bit pedantic, Flutter, but it makes sense. It's kind of a cascading language. It's quite interesting. Text style, text style, text style, and we're going to clean this up. Add a comma here before I forget. Text style, we're going to make font size 16. We're going to keep it consistent, and we're going to make the color. We can just use. I'll show you another way. We can just use colors dot and then pick the color. We'll do black. Sorry, Alt Shift F to format. And is there anything else we need to do? We need to add children to this tile. So inside here we can do. No, this is still the text. Sorry. Inside the expansion tile we add the children. Oh, still inside the text, so we can add a widget, and that widget is going to have more of our custom menu tile. So we'll do copy this, paste. Oh yeah, we'll do 3. Format it again, and we'll do 3, 4, 5, and the trick that I showed before, Control D, lets us select multiple of them. We can set them all to true at the same time. And really, that should be all we need. And I'll also just add this color, that's annoying me. Hit the refresh, and now when we open this, we have an expansion tile. And these tiles 3, 4, and 5, you can see they're a bit more, there's more padding on the left hand side, so they're not, it kind of, visualizes that they're under the expansion tile, even though there is the drop down and the 2 bars to help. It just shows you a bit more easily that it's, they're children of this expansion tile. So in a menu, this could be, I don't know, about us or help, and then it could be FAQs, contact us, etc. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. It's just a simple app bar, the simple menu drawer, and I know we didn't do any screens, like custom screens or any useful custom widgets, but I do think that this custom menu tile list that I made is quite useful, because again it makes it a lot cleaner while making your menu. So if you can think about duplication of code, so we'd have each one of these of our custom classes would be this much code, which is 65 to 84, just 19 lines of code for each of these, which we've already just replaced with 1 line of code. So on a big menu, each 1 line here would be, sorry, did I say 16? I meant 19. 19 lines of code. Just makes everything a bit cleaner, and you can organize your stuff better. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully it helped and you learned something, or I helped in some way. I don't know what I'm saying. But yeah, I think it's useful stuff. AppBar, mobile drawer. I'll be doing more videos on this, on custom widgets that are made and useful tips and tricks and packages. next one's just going to be on screens, and we'll be linking our functions that we haven't filled in. So I'll show how to open a new screen on a click, which is obviously useful for on our logo. We can click this, it's not doing anything, but that's going to take us to the home page, and on each of these tiles it will be bringing up the custom screens that we have, that we don't have yet, but that you can make for those. So yeah, stay tuned, and hopefully it helped. I know I've said that a lot, but I'll leave it now. Thanks so much for watching.